against Real
Oh,
Madrid.
geez. Well, so the Lugano owner is probably pretty pleased. And speaking of the Lugano owner, just to end the final little segment here on Enemies
Uncle
of the
Joe's,
Fire,
please.
make sure you guys kick that like button and comment below. We'd love to read your comments. Chicago Fire owner chats and sits down with Kylan Mills, and this was just a little. I'll just show a little excerpt here and let you guys react to it. Just be a short little excerpt, just talking about the qualities of the coaching and of what he was looking for.
Head back to Europe.
Hold
so
on.
as soon as that happened,
I was about to say, look at him. He can't even hide the fact that he's stupid rich.
He's weird.
It just like
he's weird
oozes from his skin. Like,
yeah, his eyes.
He's
you know what, guys, this is the owner of a club team that we all love here, okay?
And we would shake his hand and love to meet him.
Yeah, I would love to shake his hand. No, okay? That's like making fun of like.
And he's maybe even watched our show before. Because listen to what he says here, guys. This is pretty interesting.
Director of football. Before we get into why he was the right fit, I want to hear more about the process. How did you approach the search for the club's next head coach?
Well, our current sporting director, Georg Heitz, came to me in August and said he wanted to head back to Europe. So as soon as that happened, we kicked off a search. And we had a tremendous amount of interest in the role. It's a very desirable role. We heard from people all over the world. And we had a pool of about a little over 80 candidates. Some that we sourced, and many that came inbound from people across the league, people globally, all super well qualified. Then what we did is we narrowed that to a short list of 3 candidates that were extremely well qualified. And we invited those 3 candidates for interviews. And one of those candidates was the person who succeeded in the interview process, Greg Berhalter. And I had known Greg for a long time.
He'll get into that.
And so as soon as the role opened up, I immediately texted Greg and said, hey, I know you're available. We'd love to have you come interview. And he responded right away. We got him into the pool.
Isn't that awesome to hear? That our owner texted Berhalter, was like, dude, come on in for an interview.
No, you know what it was? He took the 80 candidates, text Greg Berhalter, hey, you interested in this job? Okay, boom. That's it. That's all he had to do.
I'm sorry. I'm having such trouble paying attention to him because every time I look at him, all I can just think is this man has read at least 7 books on eye contact and what it means in your professional interactions.
And how to
what are you talking about? He probably did not read. He probably had somebody train him. You know, when you got money like that.
All right.
Got him into the pool, and then he made it to that short list, and that's how it began.
So you said that you went from 80 candidates down to 3, which sounds like quite the process, a big job. How did you go about filtering through so many qualified people who wanted this job?
It was not easy, Kylan. There were 80 very well-qualified candidates. And so we wanted really someone who had a demonstrated record of success as a manager, somebody who knew MLS, but at the same time was plugged into the global soccer world, because that's a big part of recruiting talent. Somebody who was a good leader, who had good leadership skills, could motivate and excite an organization. And then somebody who had heart for Chicago in some way, that this just wasn't another job that they were taking or doing it for the money or vacation, but had heart for Chicago, saw the potential in what we're doing, and really wanted us as much as we wanted them. And so we went through the list. We narrowed it to 3. It was hard.
You think Bruce Arena was on that list?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was Bruce Arena.
Been one of the 3.
Yeah, it's probably Bruce Arena, Triple G, and
Frank Lopez,
Jason Christ.
And Jason,
there you go.
No, here's the best part. He talked about leadership. He's like, we need someone with leadership. By the way, I was at this leadership conference that Greg was speaking at.
Oh man.
And we invited 3 candidates back, as I mentioned. But another factor was just the time pressure. You know, we wanted to get somebody in early because preseason starts next January, mid-January. So it's not a long time. We have to make a lot of roster decisions, and we've got to recruit talent. All of that takes time. So the sooner somebody can get in here, the better they're going to do next year.
When it comes to those 3 individuals you chose to interview, I assume this wasn't just one conversation. Like, how ongoing was this to really get to know those individuals?
So I thought that was a great little clip, though. And go check out that video on Chicago Fire FC YouTube. Chicago Fire FC, Joe Mansueto sits down with Kylan Mills. This very recent, 5 days ago. Today's November 6th.
I think she gets a bad rap because she has to sit down and interview him for his like fake interview. Remember the like, hey, everybody's mad about George Heights. Tell them it's okay. But like
he just said he wanted to leave in mid-season. Right. How you feel as an owner? Like, oh, jeez.
You know what? And he didn't say, oh yeah, I fired Joe. We decided to go separate directions. He said, no, and George just told me he wants to go back, and then I'm like, yeah. Like it almost sounds like this man was planning on keeping Heights for a while.
Let's hope that's not the case. But
yeah.
You know what? Like, of all the owners we could have, I do. It's this guy gives me some faith that like
keep in mind. Look, and for especially for you, because I know how you are, Toke, especially when it comes with money. This man literally said that he's gonna privately, which AKA his own money, finance a stadium for the Chicago Fire.
You listen, if he does that, he would have to murder a lot of babies for me to be mad at him after that. But he can say anything he wants right now in the 5 to 10 years before this thing can get built. He can say whatever the fuck he wants and gets all the praise. But then what happens when push comes to shove and he actually gets a couple aldermen to write him a check and gets cozy with JB? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, don't leave the mechanics alone, all this, okay? You don't bring that up. You don't bring up the mechanics and all this, all right? All I'm saying is the man is gonna privately finance the stadium, and that's it. It's not like another team that's gonna say, "Hey, we'll bring $2 billion. How about you cough up the next half?" Put it like that.
Oh my goodness gracious!
You can't get mad at that. You cannot get mad at the man trying to buy his own stadium.
Absolutely not.
I'm not mad, but he definitely gets no what's the word I'm searching for? He gets no love from me about it until like I see that he's actually doing it, because he can say
you actually want to touch it. You actually want to touch the stadium. Like you want to go. You want to go touch it.
I just want to see the plans and specs and know he's paying for it. Let's put it that way. Like I don't care about like having the stadium built first, but like I said, he can say anything he wants right now and get all the karma point, like all the goodwill
he wants.
Man,
just for that, he's gonna watch this video. He's gonna hear you say that, and he's gonna go build it. It's gonna make you grow.
Please build it.
I think we got an excellent owner, and you hear the passion in his voice. You hear him caring. To hear him talk like this, it feels like he's entered another. He's learning more and more and more about his ownership of MLS and what he needs to do to get this team to succeed. And I'm hearing that what he's talking about. So that's
this isn't like,
it's encouraging.
You think of somebody like Kraft, and it's kind of like, well, I hope to invest in this other thing, and it's on the side and whatever. And
because he has another thing to worry about.
And then he's not the guy. He's not a guy who needs this to make money, right?
I don't think this guy needs this to make money.
Venture. So he's here to actually make it better. Like there is no other goal.
Sounds like a certain guy I know.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's actually here to make it better, and he cares that it gets better. He has made a lot of mistakes so far, and most of them have been putting his trust into Garrick Heights. But beyond that, like I am jacked that he's here, because you know what? If it takes 30 years, it'll take 30 years. He'll get it right. Yeah, James is working on his golf game.
Yeah, James is working on his golf game. I mean, we're talking about a club that we love. That's not going to affect our healthcare. But besides the point, yes, compared to Andrew Hoffman,
this guy's engaged.
This man, he spends money. Like it's just the sad part is that it's been misspent.
He knows when the Fire are losing. He's paying attention, and he feels the pain. And it's not just a financial pain. He actually wants success for this club. He wants success.
He wants to keep us happy because he changed our logo. So after that horrible crown, so
he brought back the red jersey.
He got us free parking at Soldier Field.
Yep.
Like, he's doing a lot of things right. The only problem is that the product on the field hasn't been great. But honestly, he made that decision this year. I mean, George Heights.
He made a big step. Yeah.
Yeah, George Heights did it on his own, but now we got a new head coach, Greg Berhalter.
New technical director, Greg Berhalter.
New technical director. So, how it's hard not to feel positive. It's hard not to
You're
feel,
right.
like we're going in the right direction. And
This
do not
weird
bring up the
feeling of
golf
hope.
game. Yeah, this weird feeling of hope. So, and again, do not bring up the golf game. But anyways, yeah, so I mean, I'm all for it. Like, honestly, I mean, if you think about it, how many Chicago owners act like this guy? Sports
None.
owners, shoot.
This
Chicago
guy-
sports owner.
Ricketts,
This guy
maybe Ricketts
legitimately
was
cares.
Ricketts was a little
Ricketts?
focused at first, and also
Yeah.
Wirtz, the Blackhawks owners.
You Blackhawks, I know very little about, but you're right with the
Yeah.
Cubs. It's like they
The son
came
of
in, they were
Rocky.
like, we're gonna be the ones who win a World Series. Then they did, and they were like, dope. I'm not spending another dime.
Or it's Dollar Bill Wirtz. It's Rocky Wirtz now, I think. Yeah, but
Right.
The kid, the one, the
Benny Beverage people.
forward-thinking
Hey, yo,
guy.
Rocky. Yeah.
The forward-thinking one, not the other one that took all the Blackhawk games off the TV.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Dollar Bill
God.
Wirtz.